coming to the after party tonight? Yeah! Good, you're doing so good.
I just want to say,
The entertainment industry has always had its share of controversies, but the recent resurfacing of a clip from 23 has reignited a storm that's hard to ignore. At the center of this controversy are two well-known names, Sean Diddy Combs and Ashton Kutcher. This isn't about music or movies, it's about a troubling interaction involving the then 13-year-old actress Daveigh Chase. The allegations and the resurfaced clip have set the internet ablaze, and it's time we unpack the details.
everyone will suffer. Do you remember worried?
Coming to the after party tonight?
Yeah! And plus I heard the puppet was gonna be there, so I got scared. Checking out. So thank you for this award. It means a lot to me.
Picture this. It's the 2003 MTV Movie Awards, a night of glamour, excitement, and celebration. Daveigh Chase, known for her chilling role as Samara in The Ring, was awarded Best Villain for her performance. This should have been a moment of pure joy and pride for the young actress. However, what followed that night left an unsettling mark.
Ashton Kutcher, P. Diddy, y'all are the subject of today's video because someone has been sending me this link daily, multiple times, saying that I must react to this video. Now, I read the title, FBI reveals Diddy and Ashton Kutcher manipulated Daveigh Chase for secret freak-off parties. I mean, I really don't know what to expect, y'all. But the fact that I was sent this video multiple times, every single day, for the past 4 days straight, makes me very, very curious to see what's going on in today's video. Make sure you guys do leave a like down below and subscribe. But without further ado, let's hop into it, y'all.
So good, you're doing so good.
I just want to say, everyone will suffer. Do you remember worried?
Coming to the after party tonight?
Hold on.
The FBI just dropped some bombshell.
What did he ask?
Do you remember worried?
Coming to the after party tonight?
And is asking a 13-year-old girl if she's coming to the after party tonight. Bro, what?
The FBI just dropped some bombshell revelations, and this one has Diddy and Ashton Kutcher's names all over it. According to the latest reports, the two allegedly manipulated actress Daveigh Chase, yes, Samara from The Ring, into some shady behind-the-scenes dealings for their secret freak-off parties. The details are wild, the connections are messy, and y'all are not ready for what's coming next. Alright, so check this out. Daveigh Chase, born July 24th, 1990 in Vegas, was pretty much destined for the spotlight. She grew up in Oregon, and from the jump you could tell this girl had that performer vibe. By 7 years old, she was already out here auditioning. Now her parents definitely played a part in putting her on that path, but let's be real, Daveigh had that natural drive too. She started off doing commercials and local theater gigs, not even knowing her big break was right around the corner. Once she started auditioning in LA, it was game on.
Not game on, game over. Once you enter LA, it is game over. How many people have we seen go to LA and their life changes for the worst? And then those same people leave LA and then hop back on social media preaching about God. Lost Angels, not Los Angeles, Lost Angels. Really a demonic city, huh?
What are we gonna do?
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 Things popped off quick. She got into voice acting for animated cartoons, and here's the kicker. She's literally the voice of Lilo from Lilo and Stitch. She was a big deal back then. Honestly, if we had social media back in the day, her name would probably still be buzzing today. Daveigh's career didn't stop with animation. This girl was out here showing range. She popped up in TV classics like Charmed and ER, proving she could hold her own in live action too. But her real big screen moment came in 2001 when she starred in Donnie Darko as Samantha Darko. That movie is a cult classic, and her role really put her on the map. She even came back to reprise the role in 2009. But before we get into that, we have to talk about 2002 and her game-changing role in The Ring. At just 12 years old, her performance was straight up haunting. She became an icon in horror cinema after that. It's impossible to think about scary movies from that era and not think about Samara.
Sean Diddy Combs, holding a drink, approached the teenage actress backstage with a casual demeanor. He asked, "You coming to the after party tonight, Daveigh?" Perhaps unsure or caught off guard, nodded in response. Diddy then laughed and exclaimed, "Yeah, it might seem harmless on the surface, but the context has raised significant concerns, especially in light of the allegations currently surrounding him."
Everybody talking, and little me hiding under the covers. Over the years, Daveigh kept switching it up, diving into all kinds of roles, and even music for a bit. It's giving Hollywood powerhouse in the making. She revisited her Donnie Darko role in 2009, but then things got quiet for a while. She didn't pop back up until 2016 with American Romance, a low-budget thriller about a serial killer. Critics weren't feeling it, though. They called it dull and just plain gross. American Romance was Daveigh's last major leading role, and since then, her acting career seems to have hit pause. That's got people wondering if she quietly stepped away from Hollywood altogether. Honestly, though, making it as far as she did after starting as a child star, that's already a big win. Most don't get that far. But now Daveigh's name is back in the spotlight after all these years, and not for the best reasons. It's all tied to some messy Diddy and Ashton Kutcher headlines. There's this video that's been resurfacing from the 2003 MTV Music Awards, where Diddy is seen inviting a 13-year-old Daveigh to an after-party. Yeah, that kind of party. And let's be real, the words Diddy and party in the same sentence? These days, people automatically think freak-offs. Anyway, in the clip, Diddy approaches Daveigh after she wins Best Villain for her role in The Ring and casually asks if she wants to hit up an after-party. At first glance, it might seem harmless, like he's just being playful. But now, knowing what we know about the allegations against Diddy, including that horrifying lawsuit claiming he assaulted a
I've seen this clip before, and I mentioned to you guys, it's not only what he asked, it's how he asks it. I already told you.
We know about the allegations against Diddy, including...
Look at the way he's approaching her. Biting on the cup. Talking about you coming to the after party. Bro, that is literally how dudes approach women in the club, asking them if they come into the spot after. So you come into the spot after? You come into the after? That is weird. Diddy? Weird, man.
That horrifying lawsuit claiming he assaulted a 13-year-old girl just 3 years before that event. It's a whole different story. Like, if Daveigh did go to that party, what on earth could have gone down? This is beyond concerning, and honestly, the whole situation feels hella dark. Now that Diddy's lawsuits are piling up, this old video is hitting different. Social media is buzzing, and people are straight up disgusted, calling the interaction sick and gross. Like, why is a grown man hyped about asking a literal child to an after party? The whole vibe is weird. One person said, WTF, who asks a 13-year-old to an after party? Plus, Ashton always gave me weird vibes, like the clean-cut guy that has a dark side, psycho type of shit. Daveigh was such a talented actress with an impressive lineup of roles, and now people are hoping she was protected from whatever could have gone down that night. Here's the thing, Daveigh is an adult now, but she's kept quiet about this video and her experiences with Diddy. Still, the creepy nature of that invite has folks revisiting the culture of Hollywood parties, especially how young stars were treated back in the day. Influencer or celeb-adjacent events can get shady real fast. We've all seen parties with minor...
The story doesn't end there. During the awards ceremony, as Daveigh received her trophy, Ashton Kutcher, who co-presented the award with Diddy, hovered over her while congratulating her. He gently rubbed her shoulder, adding to the discomfort many viewers now feel when rewatching the clip. What might have been brushed off as innocent gestures back then now faces scrutiny under the lens of a society more aware of power dynamics and exploitation.
Sean Diddy Combs placed on suicide watch at New York jail. Sources call it routine. So it's not like a big deal, LA time. Nah, just a regular thing. We put guys on suicide watch. He's in custody right now at Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, as he awaits a trial on sex trafficking and racketeering charges and was placed on suicide watch by officials. The source said that the suicide was routine. The Metropolitan Detention Center, which has housed inmates like R. Kelly and Epstein. Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, has a history of violence and squalid conditions. Prosecutors unsealed their indictments against Combs on Tuesday, charging him with sex trafficking and racketeering, a bunch of other things, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Vinny, I can go to the next one. Diddy as bad as Epstein, as cops recall rooms with hidden cameras on the freak-off. Kim Porter's book comes out. Diddy talks locking women in a freak-off party and resurfaced clip. What new things have you found that maybe we should know about?
It's not necessarily new, Pat, but it's like just look at this pattern. We've seen it before, and everybody, I'm telling you right now, everybody in the music industry and everybody in Hollywood knew about this. Okay, there's no BSing about it, Pat. I knew about this guy when I was in Hollywood, and there's some other people that I know that have these type of parties. I don't know about the cameras that I would never go to, and I was warned not to go to. Okay, it's no secret. Just like Epstein, just like Harvey Weinstein, and everybody knew. Look at how many videos, and everybody praised them. Michelle Obama, Barack, all the videos are surfacing with him and Diddy and all these people. Even Usher, Pat. Usher deleted his Twitter account. Deleted it, right? Or took everything down. He deleted a bunch of, I think, 7,000 tweets, and then came back a day later and he put...
Me again?
He wrote, account got hacked, and damn, y'all ran with it. It's not a secret. I'm tired of everybody playing this game, okay?
Well, actually, read the comments on what people said. Let's see what people said, like if they bought it or not.
Okay, yeah.
The old...
Did he hack your butt?
the old... The account got attacked and hacked.
That's the first one. Oh, that's security. Keep going, Robbie. So crazy how it got hacked, but instead of posting crazy stuff, the hacker just deleted your post and Diddy got arrested. And all the stuff with Justin Bieber. So weird, we all ran with it. Right, bro? Nobody's buying that, dude. So, Pat, the majority of these, Pink said the same thing.
That's the best one.
Yeah, but guys, Pink and somebody else, they deleted their stuff a little while back. But Usher, in his own words on the Howard Stern show, like when I tell you guys, these demons hide in plain sight, like Diddy, he said on Howard Stern, Puffy would have his parents send him to Flavor Camp at 13 years old. Your parents are sending you to a camp with a grown man, Pat. I know, I'm around you all the time. I know we're your kids, and I know you trust me, and I love you. Would you ever send your 13? Would you send Tico?
Stop it.
Are you freaking nuts? I don't care how famous he is. And in this interview, Rob, you don't have to play. He says, Howard Stern's like, oh, I bet you there was girls and orgies. And he's talking to him as he's 13, and he said, there was very curious things happen. And then you got a video of Usher and Diddy in his bedroom with Kevin Hart, and he's interviewing him. And he said, I would wake up in the morning with Usher in the morning, and then he catches himself, and it's a moment where they're all laughing and it's all a joke. And I think, in my opinion, Pat, one of the ones that affects me the most is Justin Bieber. This kid, to me, it looks like he has gone through hell.
By the way, do you have the Kevin Hart one?
Yeah, I sent it to you, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm finding it right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Which is odd, Pat, because he gets caught saying that he would wake up next to him, and then he changes it and says we would fight off over the Frosted Flakes. Even Kevin Hart is uncomfortable because you're admitting that you were sleeping next to a freaking child.
The resurfaced clip has sparked outrage across social media. People are calling out both Diddy and Kutcher, labeling their behavior as gross and predatory. One user bluntly asked, how did it take this long for Diddy to be arrested? Nobody thought it was odd he was inviting 13-year-olds to his parties. Another added, imagine what happened behind closed doors if this was done publicly.
And it's like, I'm tired of hearing all these stories, and people just laugh about it. We giggle. Like, this is it right here, Pat. Go ahead, Robbie.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was
10 years
a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted
He'd wake
Flakes.
Up till Usher.
He used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's going to acknowledge this with me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen.
And think about it. And back to Justin Bieber. Right, there's videos, and we don't have to show any more videos. There's videos of Justin Bieber as a child with him, as a child. And again, the parents letting him sleep over. Just uncomfortable, awkward moments. You played the song, Pat, this weekend, Lonely, by Justin Bieber. Yeah. Guys, that song, after everything that this kid's been through, hits so different. It got me emotional in the car. And then look at all the videos. And again, hiding in plain sight. How many videos of Jenny McCarthy at the American Music Awards kissing and making him, he's like, I feel violated. The kid was telling us, James Corden sitting there sniffing him like, I love your smell. It's like, we all see it. We all seeing it happening. And I know we're not going to show the video, Pat, but there's a video out there for the viewers that want to watch it. There's a nightclub. Somebody has a camera. Trey Songz is standing next to Odell Beckham, and he sees the camera come, and he goes, yo, to signal to Odell. And you see Justin Bieber coming up. His head was down in Odell Beckham's crotch. And it's like, I can only imagine, Pat, how difficult it must be for these kids, for an Usher or a Bieber to come forward. But I think the best thing that could happen, and I get it, I don't understand because I've never been there. A guy like Usher and a guy like Bieber should tell prosecutors or something what these people did, because if they don't come and tell them, Pat, there's another P. Diddy walking around. There's another person that's going to keep violating these young kids, and nothing's going to get done unless people start talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you have here, Rob? What clip is this with Kutcher?
So this is Ashton Kutcher. He was on the Hot Ones where you eat chicken wings and are interviewed while you're doing it. And this is him talking about going to Diddy parties.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Eat the hot wings and
yeah. While you're doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Eating the wings.
No, I mean, we're talking. I thought maybe I'm like, that's a crazy interview if you're doing like, so how was your day? But go ahead, play the clip. You threw me off, Rob, when you said that.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you have one, yeah.
Wow. Okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment. So it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked because he was like, "Yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me," and I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me.
The anger is palpable. The video has opened a floodgate of questions about accountability in Hollywood and the broader entertainment industry. It's not just about Diddy's actions, but also the environment that allowed such incidents to occur without repercussions. Critics argue that this isn't an isolated case, but part of a larger, systemic issue where power and privilege shield predators from facing justice.
In real time, did you know anything about the tension between Dipset and Jay?
Yeah, you're kidding. I was refereeing it. I was refereeing and I was trying to keep everybody cool. So I had to tell Jay, like, yo, why you keep fucking with him? He's young. Like, what's the problem? So Jay would be, all right, cool. And then go on the radio and say, yeah, Cam is a good earner. And then Cam would be like, why you got to call me an earner? You know what I'm saying? I'd be, I don't know why he called you an earner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. You know, so I don't know why Jay always had a thing with Cam. He always had a thing like that. He had a thing with everybody, bro. Pause.
And that H to the Izzo beat was supposed to be Cam's, right?
I didn't know that was the case, because I know, I don't remember that, but maybe. I don't see Kanye. Kanye wasn't just giving shit, like the beats that Cam got, like, oh boy, he took that shit. It wasn't like it was given to him. It was just like, oh, this is here, I'm taking this. And I wasn't even mad at it because it was acting funny. You know, I produced Kanye's first record that was on the radio. We Are the Champions on my album, The Dream Team. So I produced that with Kanye. And the reason why he got that beat was because I gave it the sample to Just Blaze to flip, and he was disrespecting me and just ignoring me. And Kanye was like, I'll do it. And then when he did it, I said, because you did it, jump on it. Paul. And then Cam jumped on it and you know, fucking Beanie. It was dope. I think young Chris.
What was the deal with Kanye? Like, why wasn't anybody supporting him as a rapper outside of you?
Because he, you know, like, we looked at him, like, I never looked at Kanye as a rapper. And Kanye always looked at himself, which is not a bad thing, but, you know, he always thought he was bigger than everyone else thought he was until he got there. So no one really took him serious as a rapper. And again, I took him serious as someone that can do an album, make beats, and at least everybody from Rockefeller could jump on the album. So you're going to get Jay, you're going to get Cam, all of that. Everyone he made a beat for should do a record for him. But I never looked at him as a rapper. And then when he started rapping, after he broke his jaw, that's when it was like, damn, he's the best producer that could rap. Like how Dre could rap. Like, you don't look at Dr. Dre as a rapper, you look at him as a producer. Me knowing Kanye, it would be like Just Blaze starting to rap. I knew them first as producers. It's really hard for me to unsee people the way I first saw them. That's why I like certain people, no matter what they do, how much money they make, I still see them as that same person. And that could be the default. But it's hard to, like, unsee what you first saw. The reason why if you look at the movie, the reason why he was like, the contracts took so long is because Jay would not sign off on them. So that was the problem. But again, if I were to tell Kanye, yo, Jay won't sign off on your, then he would have like jumped off the, he would have took it too hard.
While Diddy faces the brunt of the backlash, Ashton Kutcher hasn't escaped unscathed. His actions, though seemingly minor in comparison, have been labeled inappropriate by many. Viewers question why he felt the need to hover over a young girl and touch her during such a formal moment. Is that Ashton Kutcher creeping behind? One user remarked, encapsulating the unease many felt.
So I could never really say when, it was always me like having to be like, make excuses because things had to move slower because we always had to wait for Homeboy to give his one signature because he always knew that Biggs was going to rock out with me. So he just would torture us to get shit done if it wasn't about him. Now his budgets, they got signed off on very fast. To be honest, there was a time like I had took Kanye's chain off his neck because he was driving me nuts. So when that had happened, he was already like, I had dropped Kanye from Rockefeller. I dropped Kanye. So at that point, I was done with them. I was ready to go do my own thing. I gave people out of respect the opportunity, like, yo, there's Dame Dash, I forgot what the name of the records, Dash Records or whatever. So I was like, y'all can go over there if they won't with you. But like, really, I'm done with this music shit. Like, I was done. I was burnt out. Everybody was corny to me. Everybody was weird to me. Everybody was manipulative and exploitive, and it just smelled like bad breath, and it still does. Like you walk into a room and I just got sick of smelling hot paws, bad stink, demon breath. I didn't want to smell that no more. I didn't want to be around it. I was done. Like I was done, man. I just done it for 15 years, so I didn't want to do that shit no more. I wanted to do fashion. So how did I feel? I didn't feel, I wasn't even thinking about it. I just was like, let me go get this Rachel Roy off the ground and turn that into a $100 million company, which I did, that nobody talks about.
What made you take his chain?
Because two things. Beans was getting ready. We thought he was going to go to jail for a couple of years. He was on trial. So I was trying to make 4 albums for him, or 5. So that if he went to jail, because every time if you sold 500,000 records, I could give you $1 million advance. So if I already have 5 albums that each went gold, while he was in jail, I could always make sure he had 500 grand. So I was just trying to get it all done. And Kanye wouldn't give him any beats. That was one reason. And the other reason why is I had spent like $500,000 to $600,000 with Rockware's money developing his line, Pastel. I still got the samples. And all of a sudden he was like, I don't like him no more. And he was just starting to Kanye out. And that was it. I was done. So I was like, man, you got to get out. I was tight. So I had the chain, you know what I mean? And people, my inner crew talks about that. Like, damn, you dropped Kanye. I'm like, I don't give a f. Because I had done so much to fight for him, it was like, what more can I do? So I just felt like I can't be arguing. I don't care how many records you sell. And that was before that was like when he first got hot. I was more bothered when Beans chose to go with Jay. That one hurt. Because I'd done a lot.
Kutcher, known for his work as an anti-human trafficking advocate, now finds himself under fire for behavior that contradicts the values he's publicly championed. Critics argue that even subtle actions like his contribute to a culture where boundaries are blurred and young individuals, especially women, are made to feel uncomfortable.
News right now, unfortunately, is Jay-Z and Diddy are accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old.
Sure.
Yeah,
but to be honest, nobody believed that this wouldn't touch a lot of very famous people, right? This whole milieu we find ourselves in wouldn't touch a lot of famous people. And all I can say when I saw it is, I never had to go to a white party. I didn't go to none of those parties.
No?
No, it never appealed to me. I'm not saying that everybody who did go was wrong, but I'm glad I ain't got a lawyer asking me to get my story together. I'm glad I get it. I just look here, man. When a motherfucker call himself Diddy, I can't fuck with him. This is not my thing. It's not my thing.
Well, I remember in our last interview you said you've never liked Diddy.
No, I never have.
That clip actually went viral.
I never have. but I've liked Jay-Z a great deal. I've never liked, like there are people who do things because they know they can, and it had that bully mentality. There are people that do things that know they can. And here's the thing, it isn't whether you believe that Diddy did it or not, it's the silence from the people who work with him.
Oh yeah, I can't get a Diddy employee interview for the life of me these days.
Nobody, they won't say anything.
I know a lot of them actually.
They won't say anything.
They're not going to talk.
Now Jay-Z,
I think glad you my man, but no.
So
not right now.
That tells you a lot when somebody who been at your party won't speak in your stead, won't say anything good to you, and everybody who does say something good later on say, I didn't mean it that way. Look, they got Diddy, R. Kelly, and Bill Cosby. They done fucked around and indicted the 90s.
The whole 90s.
If you been on Nick at Night, you going to jail. They got the 90s.
The 90s are just out of here.
Yeah.
The whole legacy is gone.
If you was
just
on MTV,
throw the whole 90s away.
The 90s is in trouble. They indicted the entire 90s.
The entire 90s. All the biggest stars.
Right? I'm not even bullshit.
Yeah,
if you got a VHS tape, well, look for a summons coming up. Like, to me, it was like I like Jay-Z's response. I think that everybody is entitled to the presumption of innocence. I like that he said, take me to criminal court. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened. I do know this, that when these things happen, one side says they should be believed just because they make an argument, and another side says that you have the presumption of innocence. My response and my answer to that is I'm going to take the side of a man who's convicted in court, who is indicted in court. He has a presumption of innocence. It's your obligation and your responsibility to prove his guilt. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jay had a whole big response.
Yeah.
Like a long paragraph. Yeah. This is the most Jay has ever commented.
Yeah.
I remember I was on the Piers Morgan show with Jaguar Wright.
Right.
She did all that nonsense. I was the only person that was sane on that show that day. Everyone else was going along with
the next day, Piers Morgan took that shit right back.
Took it right down,
sure
exactly.
Did.
But I was the one that was saying it's all nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he even put her on there. I was actually not.
But that's what he does.
This resurfaced clip is only the tip of the iceberg for Diddy. The music mogul has been embroiled in a series of C***Yule assault allegations that paint a troubling picture of his past behavior. While these allegations are still under investigation, the clip adds another layer to the growing public distrust in him.
Pierce has been figuring out his way around.
Everybody's
YouTube.
Been figuring out that thing around, man. There is a level of salaciousness that works. And there are people who truck in it. This is the blogosphere, the internet, that space. It has a voracious appetite, and you got to out-top everybody else. But I do notice this: as soon as that shit aired, Piers Morgan came out and gave a full-throated rebuttal.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing: people don't understand this about lawsuits. Because when you looked at all the Twitter comments, I always would see, well, if Jaguar Wright's right, if Jaguar Wright is lying, why hasn't she been sued? Why hasn't anyone sued her? You can't sue someone that lives in a U-Haul truck.
Right.
Okay, you can.
Right.
But you can't sue Piers Morgan.
You can.
You can do that.
Yes.
And Piers Morgan has money.
Yes.
That's why Piers Morgan
wasn't finna give it to Jay-Z.
Exactly.
So I just think that people make these assumptions and these assertions, and it's almost a default position. Well, they must be telling the truth because they said it, or if they weren't telling the truth, this would happen. Ultimately, it's this: people's lives have been ruined by actions, and if those people have actually, indulged in those things and participated in those things, there's a consequence for that. But there are people who have been indicted in the public space, and it hasn't been true. And so I think Jay-Z's tone was exactly. But see, I saw Puffy say the same shit, and then a video came out.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, Tony Busby actually responded. And, he says, regarding the Jay-Z case and his efforts to silence my clients, Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. He filed his frivolous case under a pseudonym. What he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of an alleged victim, and the victim never demanded a penny from him. Instead, she only sought a confidential mediation. Okay, let me translate that statement.
Exactly.
A confidential mediation means a conversation about how much money she'll get before it goes to court.
Right, exactly.
So to say that she never demanded a penny from him is a complete lie.
It's
because a
lawyer
civil
speak.
lawsuit, by definition.
It's lawyer speak.
Yes, it's lawyer speak trying to fool people.
Now let me tell you something. Now if Puffy would have done that to Cassie before she made the allegations, he'd be out right now. He should have paid that money early.
Oh yeah. Well, in his case, this was a real thing.
It was.
This wasn't when someone was 13 in the 80s and, you can't prove it on any level whatsoever.
Man, my thing is this. I have a problem with kids being sexually assaulted.
Many are now questioning the events of that night in 23 and the culture that surrounded Diddy's infamous after parties. Were these events a breeding ground for inappropriate behavior? How many more incidents like this went unnoticed or unreported? These are the questions echoing across social media and beyond.
Some of the other big headlines. Diddy. Diddy is in a world of trouble, man. He's been arrested. He had the whole lawsuit with Cassie that looked really bad. She accused him of a lot of horrible things, and including rape. And we seen the video of Diddy beating her up in the hotel. I know you know what I'm saying, you knew Diddy. You guys have known each other for a long time, and been around each other. What's your thoughts on that? What was it like when you first started hearing all this news?
It was I like everybody else. I couldn't believe that it was that extreme. So I've always known him to be turned up, but I didn't know he was that turned up. So, it wasn't a good look. It made me reevaluate. The things that he's been accused of has made me reevaluate every single second I've been in the business. Because the things he's being accused of is like, people putting stuff in people's drinks and, putting shit in baby oil, and motherfuckers is catching pneumonia. And it just makes me think about every time someone tried to make me take a drink when I didn't want to, who hangs out with who. And, it just makes me say I don't want any parts of that business in general because it's just too many gray areas. Either you have to tolerate or you have to be a part of or tolerant. And I don't have any tolerance, zero tolerance for weirdo shit. And no disrespect to anybody gay, because that was what was shocking to me. I was like, damn, I didn't know everybody was that loose. Pause. But I'm heterosexual. I love women a lot.
Are you surprised about all the other names that they're trying to associate with this, with Diddy? Like there's a lot of people he came up with that they're trying to involve with this also.
Well, I could just say anybody to me, from the outside looking in objectively, if I see a person that's with someone consistently all the time, sleeping over their crib, I would think that they would be privy to the things that were going on. So if those things were actually happening and they were privy to them, if you was in pictures with that person a lot and you were with them a lot, I think it's natural for someone to have you guilty by association until further notice. So unless somebody's going to debunk, I was only there because of this or that. I know when I was at, I never went to a Diddy party. I never knew him as Diddy. I was at Puff's party 20 years ago with Aaliyah, and Jennifer Lopez was there, and Natani, and I left. That was the Puff party. But for the shit they saying, I wasn't privy to that, and had I been, I probably would have told everybody. I'd have like, them niggas is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have blew my mind. So that's not a secret I would have been able to keep. But for those that can keep those secrets, it makes you a bit questionable, and I think that's just normal. You can't be mad at somebody for being normal.
Is there something that happened that made you stop partying with Diddy, or you just
I never
really hung out with him like
partying
that?
with Diddy. Rockefeller and Bad Boy were two distinctly different movements. So they were more R&B. We looked at them pauses like barefoot niggas and shit. So we had no parts of it.
The entertainment industry has a long history of shielding powerful figures, often at the expense of vulnerable individuals. The resurfaced clip of Diddy and Daveigh Chase serves as a stark reminder of this. The public is now demanding answers, not just about this specific incident, but about the broader culture of silence that has allowed such behavior to persist.
That we were like dudes. So when we were on the Puff's tour, you know, we wore bulletproof vests. You know, we teased people for wearing shiny suits. It was just it was like the difference between Stax Records and Motown, and us being more Stax Records. So we just our worlds didn't really collide, and I'm not gonna say like I look down at them. It's just I'm not that guy. I wasn't like a S-Curl so much, you know, dancing and singing. We were rapping and shit. We was hustling. So it was just a different vibe. But yeah, when he threw parties, people would show up. But I think after I didn't have to go outside anymore, after I felt that everyone that was outside was just Paul's hummer stunting and that it was better to just handle business a different way, I stopped going out altogether unless the events were for me. And that's why I opened up art galleries around the world and started focused on aggregating creative people and documenting them. And the receipts are all on my network, America New.
How do you feel about everybody trying to put Jay-Z in this mix with Diddy? I've just seen so many videos, and it just seems like so many people are trying their hardest to associate Jay-Z with this Diddy situation. But I don't really see any evidence of it myself.
I don't care about Jay-Z.
Okay.
I sold Reasonable Doubt, so I get no fucks given. That's that man. Whatever's going on with him is on him. I just can't spend so much time worried about another man and what they doing and how they feel and how people perceive them. You know, I got my own shit to be worried about. I got to get this money. I'm independent. You know, that whole situation, those people are in my rear view. Pause. So I don't care. On a human level, if the shit is true, you know, I'm curious to know how true it is. But you know, based on my experiences and the fact that I wanted to get away, I personally made the decision to get away from that camp. So, you know, that was my personal experiences. I didn't want to be over there. Things weren't, you know what I mean? Like morally, we weren't, it's just not the same fabric. So that's why I went and did my thing. I'm not as tolerant as certain things.
What were you like in high school?
A terror. You know, I had a car when I was 16, a Maxima. You know, I was smarter than my teachers. I got kicked out of school. I went to boarding school. Like, I put myself in boarding school when I was 16 because my homeboys were starting to kill too much. And I was like, it's eventually I'm going to have to do it, so I'm out of here. So I got my own scholarship and went to South Kent for a year. Like, I was pulling up. I got kicked out of school, one of my schools, because, you know, I used to park in my principal's parking spot because I felt like, yo, why does she get to have a parking spot and I don't? We the taxpayers, even though I wasn't paying no taxes, and according to everyone, I still don't.
One social media user summed it up perfectly. There is no hell deep enough or punishment strong enough for this group of predatory serial rapists and child molesters. The outrage isn't just about Diddy or Kutcher. It's about an entire system that prioritizes fame and fortune over justice and accountability.
Legendary rapper Jay-Z is denying an allegation that he and Sean Diddy Combs raped a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, an anonymous accuser identified only as Jane Doe made the accusation in a civil lawsuit on Sunday. It alleges that the assault happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards afterparty back in 2000. In a statement to NBC News, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, called the accusation idiotic, adding, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever should commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" Attorneys representing Combs also dismissed the lawsuit, calling it a shameless publicity stunt. Combs is currently behind bars at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center after federal prosecutors charged him in September with racketeering and sex trafficking.
NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos is here to break down some of this for us. Danny, good to have you with us. These are serious allegations. Tell us a little more about what accusations the accuser's making here that happened back in 2000, and just typically how a case like this then would play out in a civil court proceeding.
According to the amended complaint, and when I file amended complaints, it's because new information has come up. Maybe there are new defendants and new claims, and that's sort of what's happening here, but I'll explain the difference. This amended complaint alleges that this 13-year-old plaintiff, when she was 13, wanted to go to the VMA Awards, couldn't get in. A limo driver says, come on in, and I'm paraphrasing, you look like you're Diddy's type or something like that. She gets in, she goes to the party, and at the party, she is assaulted. Originally, she had alleged, obviously, Diddy or Combs. Now, there isn't really a new defendant in Jay-Z. What the complaint alleges is that somebody that they had originally referred to as, say, Celebrity A, now they're naming as Jay-Z. And so they allege that Jay-Z and Combs were involved in the assault of this 13-year-old plaintiff. So Jay-Z was technically already in the complaint. He just wasn't identified.
Walk us through that point that was in Jay-Z's statement there about changing the type of lawsuit here, civil versus criminal.
So Jay-Z essentially is saying, hey, if you're going to bring this case, this sounds like a criminal complaint. I dare you basically to go file a criminal complaint. And what's interesting, too, is that according to the complaint, the plaintiffs explained the reason that they decided to name Jay-Z was allegedly Jay-Z had pushed back on the filing of this complaint. So it's almost like a kind of, hey, if you're going to push us, we're going to name you in this complaint instead of just saying that you're Celebrity A. That's a little bit problematic because if he wasn't a party originally, if he was just Celebrity A, and now the only difference is because Jay-Z pushed back, it raises a question as to what exactly Jay-Z did as a party, but that will all be worked out in discovery.
And talk about what does happen next then with all this.
Well, when you file a civil complaint in federal court, the next steps are very clearly laid out in procedure, but they're not that exciting. The court will get together, the parties get together, they figure out a discovery plan, and then months out, the parties start exchanging discovery, paperwork, documents, and then months beyond that, they start having depositions. But in the civil complaint context, the opening salvo is the filing of the pleading. And then after that, it's mostly quiet until we get to depositions, which are usually not in the public. And then years from now, in federal court, maybe a year and a half, then you get to trial.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
This incident has reignited calls for change in Hollywood. It's not enough to call out individual perpetrators. There needs to be a systemic overhaul to ensure the safety and well-being of everyone in the industry, especially young talents like Daveigh Chase.
In real time, did you know anything about the tension between Dipset and Jay?
Yeah, you're kidding? I was refereeing it. I was refereeing it. I was trying to keep everybody cool. So I had to tell Jay, like, yo, why you keep fucking with him? He's young. Like, what's the problem? So Jay would be, all right, cool. And then go on the radio and say, yeah, Cam is a good earner. And then Cam would be like, why you got to call me an earner? You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he called you an earner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. You know, so. Crazy. I don't know why Jay always had a thing with Cam. He always had a thing like that. He had a thing with everybody, bro. Pause.
And that H to the Izzo beat was supposed to be Cam's, right?
I didn't know that was the case because I know, I remember, I don't remember that, but maybe. I don't see Kanye. Kanye wasn't just giving shit, like the beats that Cam got, like, oh boy, he took that shit. It wasn't like it was given to him. It was just like, oh, this is here, I'm taking this. And I wasn't even mad at it because it was acting funny. You know, I produced Kanye's first record that was on the radio. We Are the Champions on my album, The Dream Team. So I produced that with Kanye. And the reason why he got that beat was because I gave it the sample to Just Blaze to flip, and he disrespected me and just ignoring me. And Kanye was like, I'll do it. And then when he did it, I said, because you did it, jump on it. Pause. And then Cam jumped on it and you know, fucking Beanie. It was dope. I think young Chris.
What was the deal with Kanye? Like, why wasn't anybody supporting him as a rapper outside of you?
Because he, you know, like, we looked at him, like, I never looked at Kanye as a rapper. And Kanye always looked at himself, which is not a bad thing, but, you know, he always thought he was bigger than everyone else thought he was until he got there. So no one really took him serious as a rapper. And again, I took him serious as someone that can do an album, make beats, and at least everybody from Rockefeller could jump on the album. So you're gonna get Jay, you're gonna get Cam, all of that. Everyone he made a beat for should do a record for him. But I never looked at him as a rapper. And then when he started rapping, after he broke his jaw, that's when it was like, damn, he's the best producer that could rap. Like how Dre could rap. Like you don't look at Dr. Dre as a rapper, you look at him as a producer. Me knowing,
and a lot of people at that time felt the same way. Honestly, if you know, you know. But a lot of people didn't want to give Kanye no chance because they felt the same way Dame felt. Until Kanye West had to prove himself. So, and Kanye West has always been one of my top artists. So I can attest to a lot of that he's saying. Just knowing the history.
Kanye, it'll be like Just Blaze starting to rap. I knew them first as producers. It's really hard for me to unsee people the way I first saw them.
Facts.
That's why I like certain people, no matter what they do, how much money they make, I still see them as that same person. And that could be the default.
First impression.
But it's hard to unsee what you first saw.
That's that first impression.
The reason why if you look at the movie, the reason why he was like...
First and foremost, there must be stricter regulations surrounding the treatment of child actors. Their safety should be a top priority, and any interaction with adults, especially in informal settings like after parties, should be closely monitored. Secondly, those in positions of power need to be held accountable for their actions, whether it's Diddy, Kutcher, or anyone else. No one should be above the law.
The contracts took so long is because Jay would not sign off on them. So that was the problem. But again, if I were to tell Kanye, yo, Jay won't sign off on your, then he would have jumped off the, he would have took it too hard. So I could never really say when, it was always me having to be make excuses because things had to move slower because we always had to wait for Homeboy to give his one signature because he always knew that Biggs was going to rock out with me. So he just would torture us to get shit done if it wasn't about him. Now, his budgets, they got signed off on very fast. And to be honest, there was a time I had took Kanye's chain off his neck because he was driving me nuts. So when that had happened, he was already I had dropped Kanye from Rockefeller. I dropped Kanye. So at that point, I was done with them. I was ready to go do my own thing. I gave people out of respect the opportunity, yo, there's Dame Dash, I forgot what the name of the records, Dash Records, whatever. So I was y'all can go over there if they won't with you. But really, I'm done with this music. I was done. I was burnt out. Everybody was corny to me. Everybody was weird to me. Everybody was manipulative and exploitive. And it just smelled like bad breath. And it still does. You walk into a room and you just I just got sick of smelling hot paws, bad stink demon breath.
Crazy.
I didn't want to smell that no more. I didn't want to be around it. I was done. I was done, man. I just done it for 15 years. So I didn't want to do that shit no more. I wanted to do fashion.
The industry is
So how did I
crazy.
feel? I didn't feel, I wasn't even thinking about it. I just was let me go get this Rachel Roy off the ground and turn that into a $100 million company, which I did, that nobody talks about.
What made you take his chain?
Because two things. Beans was getting ready. We thought he was going to go to jail for a couple of years. He was on trial. So I was trying to make 4 albums for him, or 5, so that if he went to jail, because every time if you sold 500,000 records, I could give you $1 million advance. So if I already have 5 albums that each went gold, while he was in jail, I could always make sure he had 500 grand. So I was just trying to get it all done.
Tough. That's what's
and
up.
Kanye wouldn't give him any beats. That was one reason. And the other reason why is I had spent $500,000 to $600,000 with Rockware's money developing his line, Pastel. I still got the samples. And all of a sudden he was I don't like him no more. And he was just starting to Kanye out. And that was it. I was done. So I was man, you got to get out. I was tight.
Kanye out.
So I had the chain, you know what I mean? And people, my inner crew talks about that. Damn, you dropped Kanye. I don't give a
This controversy isn't just about Hollywood. It reflects societal issues around power, privilege, and exploitation. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a culture of accountability. By speaking out against such behavior, supporting survivors, and demanding justice, we can help ensure that incidents like this become a thing of the past.
He was like, the contracts took so long is because Jay would not sign off on them. So that was the problem. But again, if I were to tell Kanye, yo, Jay won't sign off on your, then he would have like jumped off the,